Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. We have no time to waste today. We're going to get on with our sponsors real quick, and then we got to get the Hall Guy segment going because I know you guys are ready, because I'm sure ready for the lineup that we have. And the one that we're going to start out with, hey, I'm really excited about. But real quick, before we get to him, the big fella, we're going to give a shout out to all our sponsors. With that being said, Lindsay and Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion is located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting, and the one I always talk about, meet me there or beat me there, KDK's Chicken down at 989 Razorback Road. Like they say, it's not your mama's, the best chicken and waffles in the South. But I'm talking about when we talk football in the South and the 2022 class, I'm talking about we have had a tremendous amount of talent, but I don't think there's one any better than the guy we got coming up from Montgomery, Alabama, Park Crossing High School, 4-star defensive end, Khurtiss Perry. KP, welcome to OTH, my man.
What's up, Coach?
What is going on with you, KP, recruiting heading into your junior season? You had quite the sophomore year, big fella. Talk about how that sophomore season has helped you with this early onslaught of a lot of college football attention.
It helped me a lot. It just it kept pushing me each and every game as I was going. I seen me growing each and every game, so that made me go even harder than what I did the last game.
Khurtiss, Arkansas comes in with an offer not a little bit under a week ago. Talk about getting that offer from Arkansas. Who are some of the other big time programs that have extended offers or are really showing you a lot of interest?
I was happy to get the Arkansas offer. It was very interesting. I'm ready to look into it and ready to see what Arkansas about. Now, soon as Arkansas offered, South Carolina offered the next day.
Talk about that, playing in the SEC, and really in particular, I mean, you're in a very football state. When you talk about Alabama and Auburn, I mean, are you feeling any in-state pressure so early in the recruiting process, Khurtiss, or still yet too early to really determine that?
Yes, sir. I feel it's a lot of pressure, but we just gonna hold down on the recruiting right now and just enjoy it while we can.
Now, not being able to take part in spring football there in Park Crossing, Khurtiss, how are you able to get your workouts in and kind of stay in shape so when we do get back to normal life and this pandemic is lifted and you can get back to that football world, you can be ready? How's Khurtiss Perry, able to accomplish that?
You just got to stay motivated. Like each and every day I get up, I go run, stay active, get some push-ups in, sit up, squat, anything that's just trying to make me get better each and every day.
Now, when you talk about your game and you sit down and watch tape of yourself, what are some of the things, Khurtiss, that you feel good about right now heading into your junior year? And what are some of the things that kind of you make a note and say, hey, I got to work on that here in this off season?
More on my hands. My get off is there. It's always there. It's just more on my hands and fin to run. Just better my craft.
Now, when I come to the stadium, my man, and I'm looking at big number 44. I'm at Park Crossing High School. I'm in the stadium, got my popcorn, 20 ounce. I'm at the top of the stadium bleachers. What type of football player will KP show me for those 4 quarters once that ball's kicked off?
More like a Lawrence Taylor guy. A person that's going to go out there at every play. That's never going to give up on a run or a pass. They're going to finish everything he does.
Now, there at Park Crossing there at Montgomery, you guys have a really, really impressive culture. Talk about that culture there at Park Crossing with that coaching staff that, really helps you become who you are once you get to the collegiate level, that you can always say, hey, this is what made me.
Oh, yeah. It's much love to Park Crossing, man. That's great family right there. Straight family. It's love everywhere. Everywhere you going to school, you're going to see someone with a smile. You're going to see someone that's shaking your hand, trying to pick you up each and every day. They're trying to make you better each and every day. It's much love for Park Crossing, man.
Now I know you got 2 years, of high school football, Khurtiss. But what will be some of the things that you and your family, you guys sit down and look for in a particular college that puts one over, say, us, which I'm going to go ahead and say several others. I mean, what will be the one things you guys look for?
First off, great education. We want to make sure the books come first. Make sure that my life gonna be well after football, and then for the football part, we're gonna look into which scheme fit me better, what type of defense each school run, and what school I can come in, work my tail off, and get a shot of playing at an early stage.
Khurtiss with Arkansas's new head football coach, there being Sam Pittman, a former offensive line coach, some considered the top offensive line coach in the country there at Georgia. Now the head football coach here at Arkansas. From a defensive lineman standpoint, a guy that understands how important the line of scrimmage is, how big is that when you look at schools going forward that have, guys that understand the line of scrimmage and place a high priority on it, such as Coach Pittman and that staff at Arkansas?
When it was great, like me knowing that Coach Pittman think I can turn his that I can change things around at Arkansas and I can just play football, play for him. That made me feel special.
Talking with Kurt, go ahead, Khurtiss.
Knowing he is an offensive line coach, I know he knows defense well, so I know that he think I have a shot of playing at Arkansas.
Talking with Khurtiss Perry of Montgomery, Alabama, Park Crossing High School. Khurtiss, who are some of the NFL or collegiate defensive ends that you like to study on the weekends?
My main guy is Marlon Davis. He haven't made it to the pros yet, but that's my main guy right now. Then my second main guy is Aaron Donald.
Now let's have a little fun, my man. We talked about it before we came on air, and I hope you got it ready. Now we're riding around Montgomery, Alabama. I'm one of those. I'm OG. Let's put it out there. But I want to kind of get hip to what's going on. When I get into your car, KP, what's the first 5 songs on the playlist that you and I will be vibing to?
You're most likely gonna be listening to Lil Baby the whole way. We probably gonna listen to Lil Baby, Heat Up. We're gonna listen to Rollo. We're gonna listen to TLE Cinco, and we're gonna listen to Rod Wave.
Oh, I can get with that. You have some good ones, so I'm definitely going to have to make it to Montgomery and see how KP's vibing. But, KP, last question, my man. And first, I want to thank you for taking time out here with us. I know you got a busy schedule. You got workouts coming up. But I got 2 questions for you. I know you were planning on getting out to some unofficial visits, maybe some spring football practices. But due to the COVID pandemic coming out, you had to cancel those. When life gets back to some regular scheduled events, I mean, who are going to be some of the schools that you plan on, KP, getting out to unofficially so early in the process?
Penn State, Ohio State, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia, Kentucky, Arkansas, South Carolina. It's a whole bunch. I'm gonna try to go and get into a lot of schools, try to see what the culture about,
right,
and what the school looking like.
Good point. Now, last question, KP, and finish this statement for me. When football is done with, when it's all said and done, you've hung up the pads, the helmet, put the cleats up, what will Khurtiss Perry be doing with his life afterwards?
Most likely, I'm going to stick with football. Most likely going to be coaching or be a sports writer or something dealing with sports.
Well, man, if you can come get an internship here, I got a microphone for you, and if you want to get in, we definitely can get you a blog going. But we want to continue to build this relationship. Remember, KP, our station and our show is your show. My line is your line. Let's continue to keep in touch at least once, twice a month. You up for that?
Yes, sir. I'm down.
All right, my man. Hey, KP, you have a blessed one, and like I said, my man, big fella, thanks for taking time out here on the hill.
Yes, sir. Will do. Thank you so much.
That was 2022 4-star. I should say, give him a 5 because it's only a matter of time, Demetrius. Defensive end out of Montgomery, Alabama, Park Crossing High School, Khurtiss Perry. And give me what you saw.
Another kid that it looks elite, has the size, and that's the trending thing with a lot of these players that Sam Pittman and this new staff is out. I mean, the size is noticeable. These guys pass the eye test when you're looking for football players, and specifically football players in the SEC.
Right. Difference makers. I mean, that's the thing you and I talked about before we came on today's show is impactful recruiting leads to very, very, very successful results when you get to those Saturdays in those big-time Power 5 ball games. But we're going to step away, get a real quick break because we got somewhere we got to be. We got to be in Marietta, Georgia. We're catching up with 2022 outside linebacker Daniel Martin. The Hall Guys, we continue. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 47 Line. Let's get it. Welcome in. The energy's high. The Hall Guys are watching, and we just made our way down to Georgia, the Peach State, to find another major peach state, the University of Arkansas, and head coach Sam Pittman and Jimmy Smith and staff would love within the next 2 years. This young man will make Fayetteville his home, and we're going to welcome 2022 outside linebacker from Marietta, Georgia, Marietta High School, Daniel Martin. DM, welcome to OTH.
Thank you.
Get off into the recruiting, Daniel. Arkansas comes in with an offer. Jimmy Smith, running backs coach via your head football coach there at Marietta High School. Talk about, what it was like to get that offer, and who are some other schools so early heading into your junior year that are showing you high priority interest?
It was amazing. I'm just glad that schools are looking at me, and especially Arkansas, because it's just it's a good school to go to. And I got Georgia Tech over the off season, and I had FAU in Tennessee my sophomore year. So everything's going, I feel like it's going perfectly good, perfectly fine.
How are you, dealing with that at such a young age? I mean, you come from a very well-known program there in Marietta, as you guys just this past season won the 7A state championship. But talk about your growth as a football player. I mean, had a really good sophomore year, Daniel. But what do you feel good about at this moment about your game, and what are some of the things that when you watch film, you sit and write notes and say, I got to get better in this part of football?
It's like last year, I had so much competition at practice with Eric Gilbert and Ricky and all these good wide receivers. So it's just like every day made me perfect. And then the coaches was going right next to it, and I don't know. So it was just like the practice was making me better every day.
Go ahead. Go ahead, D.
Oh, and then when we watch film, our coaches, they don't hold their tongue. They tell us what we did wrong and what we got to work on, and that's what we do that week to get ready for the next team. So it's just pretty much practicing every day.
With the addition of Sam Pittman, a guy that is well known as a top recruiter, but even more so, just recently was offensive line coach there in your state at the University of Georgia. Many considered the top offensive line coach in the country. He gets the head job at the University of Arkansas. Based on your familiarity with Coach Pittman, how big is that, Daniel, to know that if you did choose Arkansas, you would have a past relationship with their head football coach?
I'm gonna be honest, my mom loves him, so it's gonna make my family happy, and hey, I'll do whatever to make the family happy.
Who are some outside linebackers, D. Martin, that you like to study either at the collegiate or the NFL level?
Well, I look at strong safeties, like in the box safeties and stuff like that, and I'll be looking at his name's right off the tip of my tongue. It's one second, gotta get this. It's my dog too. I was just watching his film.
You got time. It's your segment. And we can come back to it if you want to.
Alright, that'll be fine.
All right,
Whoa,
now.
James.
What was that?
Adams.
Say you got it, Jamal Adams.
Yeah, Jamal Adams. That dog right there.
Hey, that's a true dog. And I want to piggyback off that, Daniel. We talk about high school football around the country, and it's quite obviously and well documented that high school football in the state of Georgia is just a little bit different. Talk about that and how that's going to help prepare you once you do get to Power 5 football for the next 2 years by playing that brand of football so early.
I feel like Georgia football is the best place to be because I feel like most of the athletes are coming from Georgia. It's like it's a different breed, and once you're playing against just kids that aren't normal, every game is gonna make you better. I'm playing against like different type of athletes. We got fast kids, we got strong kids, we got everything.
Now, what's a typical workout like for you, Daniel? I know you can't get into your facility there at Marietta High School, no spring football. But what's a workout like so that when, we get back to normal life and the COVID pandemic passes over, you're going to be ready for when it is time to get back on the grass?
Well, I have a little grass. It's like a little field in front of my yard. So I still can get on the field a little bit, do some footwork drills. But other than that, I always run a mile every day. And then I'll get the weights out from my dad's room. And then we'll do some curls and some push-ups, sit-ups. Just the normal stuff to keep me in shape.
Now, I'm coming to Marietta High School there, Marietta, Georgia. I got my popcorn. I got my Sprite, 20 ounce, and I'm going to the top bleacher. What type of football player am I going to see in Daniel Martin once that football is kicked off for 4 quarters?
You're going to see a hard-headed kid that keeps his head on and a kid that makes plays.
Now, let's have a little fun. I want everybody to know we're talking with Daniel Martin of Marietta, Georgia. Marietta High School was a member and was a big part of the 7A state championship ball club that just won the Georgia State Championship. But we're riding around Marietta, Georgia. Daniel, I'm the old guy. I'm OG, trying to figure out what new songs. What's the new vibe going on? I'm in the car with you. What's the first 5 songs on the playlist that you're gonna play for me?
I feel like it gotta be. I got some artists for you. I don't know if I could get it down to the song, but it gotta be some Lil Baby, Atlanta rapper.
Okay. Showing that Georgia love.
Gotta get little baby. Then you always gotta get some Gucci Man if you're in Atlanta. And then let's see. My favorite old rapper is Lil Wayne.
Okay. We can go with it.
Gotta get some Lil Wayne in there too.
All right, two
That'll
more.
be my ride along and Marietta music.
All right. Well, I want everybody to know we're talking with Daniel Martin of Marietta, Georgia, Marietta High School. Big time 2022 four-star prospect by Coach Sam Pittman and staff. Lead recruiter Jimmy Smith there at the University of Arkansas, running back coach. And I'm going to make a statement, Daniel, and I want you to finish it, if you will. When football is done with for Daniel Martin, he's going to be doing what with his life afterwards?
I'll either be giving back to the community or being a veterinarian.
All right, well, Daniel, hey, much luck on your junior campaign. Let's continue to keep in touch, my man. We can't make this the last time that we talk, all right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for taking time out on the hill, and you have a blessed one, my guy.
You too. Thank you.
That was Daniel Martin of Marietta, Georgia, Marietta High School, big-time 2022 four-star outside linebacker prospect. And Sam really likes this kid. And if you watch the film, Demetrius, tell me what you saw in Daniel Martin.
Just a physical kid that can tackle. Just a history, not scared to make plays in open field, and then has the mobility to drop back in coverage. So just an outside linebacker that can do multiple things and really play with his pass underneath.
Talking about doing multiple things, we got to get in our Hall Guy Caravan, because we got to make it all the way to Cornelius, North Carolina, Hugh High School. We're going to talk to a guy that can do multiple things on the defense side of football. 2022 defensive back Isaiah Brown Murray. IBM's on his way. It's on the hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it. Welcome in, man. We on fire. I'm telling you, this is a Friday that you have to enjoy, because I'm enjoying it as the Hall guys keep on watching. And we made our way down to find another Arkansas Major 2022 prospect and defensive back out of Cornelius, North Carolina, Hugh High School, Isaiah Brown Murray. IBM, welcome to OTH.
What's up? And it's Tough High School.
Tough High School. Okay, well, I'm glad you got me all straight. But let's get off into the recruiting aspect of things. You get an offer from the University of Arkansas here recently. Talk about that offer, and also too, Isaiah, who are some of the major schools that's really making you a high priority heading into your junior season?
Arkansas, that was a really big thing to me. It was my first Power 5 offer, a big thing in my life. I've been working so hard. I've been playing football for a long time. I always wanted a big Power 5 offer. And other schools have been talking to me, like UNC Charlotte. They just offered me, and I had Western Western Carolina. I got Western Carolina my freshman year. I'm just real grateful for all of them.
Arkansas comes in with the offer from through Sam Carter, through your high school head football coach. Having the defensive back, the position coach that you would have, be under if you choose Arkansas. How big is that to get the offer from a guy that isn't too far removed? I mean, Sam just finished his collegiate football back in 2014, but talk about how big that would be.
Can you repeat your question?
How big would that be to have, getting that offer from the position coach? Not just someone on the staff, but a guy that's not too far removed. Sam, graduated 2014, 29 years old, a young and up and coming defensive back coach. If Arkansas would be your school of choice, how big would that be to be up under a guy like Coach Carter?
It was real big getting the offer from the position coach because he plays the position. He knows what he wants in that position. So I'm just grateful that he chose to give me an offer, and he seen the talent. He knows that I have talent, and I like that he I'm just real grateful that he chose me because there's a million other DBs and the U.S.
IBM, when you sat down in the film room and you really analyzed your sophomore year, what are some things that you feel real good about heading into your junior season? And what were some of those notes that you just wrote down and said, this is what I'm going to be really focusing on to get better heading into next season?
Things that I really want to work on is probably my tackling. I really want to work on being a solid tackler, and because I already really have the covering down, so I know I can cover receivers. Now, if I can come down from the safety and make a big hit or make solid tackles, that can improve really improve my game.
Right.
So I'm just really I'm working on getting bigger and stronger so I can really improve my tackling.
Who are some guys that you like to watch collegiately or in the NFL, IBM?
In the NFL, I watch Tyrann Mathieu because he's real versatile. He plays every position on the football field, and that's what I really try to model my game at, so I can play every position. Every position in the secondary, like safety, free safety, corner. I really want to focus my game on playing every position instead of just playing corner or something like that. I want to play everyone.
Now, when this COVID-19 pandemic passes over, I know you probably had planned to get out to some spring practices, that being canceled. When we get back to normal life, who are going to be some of the schools early in your season that you're going to try to maybe get out to unofficially?
What? Can you repeat yourself?
Who will be some of the schools, when this COVID-19 passes over? Who are you going to try to get out and visit unofficially this season?
You talking about what schools I would like to go to?
Yeah. What are some you got the family had planned?
I really want to come there because they took a chance on me. UNC Charlotte, most definitely, and maybe go to Western Carolina. But I'll probably visit a couple other schools. I really don't know right now, though.
Now, if I'm at your high school, I'm getting my popcorn, soda pop, heading up to the top bleacher. What type of football player will I see for 4 quarters in Isaiah Brown Murray?
Just a non-stop aggressive, always going hard every play kind of player. I never try to lay up, and a real smart player. I really know the defense and really try to take pride in knowing every position on the field. So really vocal. It's a all-around good leader.
And man, let's have a little fun, my man. I hope you got your list ready, IBM, because we're riding around Cornelius, North Carolina, and I'm the OG in the car, and I'm trying to figure out what's hip. So, what's the first 5 songs on that playlist that you're gonna play for me?
First 5 songs I listen to. Right now it's probably I was listening to Jack Harlow, What's Poppin', Lil Baby, that song, Whoa by Lil Baby. I listen to Old Gunna too, like it's a whole Old Gunna album, and probably a little bit of NBA YoungBoy, Carter Son. That's probably probably my song.
Yeah, I'm definitely riding with you. You got it going. That'll be Club IBM in that car for a while. But let me ask you the final question. And once again, want everybody to know we're talking to Isaiah Brown Murray of Cornelius, North Carolina Hall High School. I think I got it right. Big 2022 defensive high priority for Coach Sam Carter and Sam Pittman there at the University of Arkansas. But when football is done with, when it's all said and done for Isaiah Brown Murray, IBM's going to be doing what with his life afterward?
If I don't, my dream is to make an NFL, but if that doesn't happen, I really want to be an orthodontist.
That's a good profession, but I mean, man, I watched the tape, Isaiah. If you don't make it, I'm gonna be hard pressed to find any better because the coverage skills, man, very very impressive, and I was very impressed with this interview. And let's make it continuous. Let's don't make this be the last interview, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, hey, my man, you have a blessed one, and thanks for taking time out on the hill. IBM.
What you say?
I said thanks for taking time out on the hill, my man.
Oh, you welcome. You welcome. You will talk to me. You can always follow me on Twitter at Isaiah Brown Murray.
I got you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, my man. That was 2022 defensive back prospect Isaiah Brown Murray, high priority. Tell me what you saw from the kid from Cornelius, North Carolina.
Just good breaking skills. Knows how to undercut receivers. I agree. Very smart player. You can tell he studies the game. He prides himself on. I can tell he watches a lot of film. Studies his opponent. So I like the kid, and I think you made a big point for Sam Carter himself to go offer him. I know he really wants him to come to Arkansas because I know what type of recruiter he is,
right,
and what type of relentless researcher he is. When he finds a kid, he thinks he really can make it on the next level,
right?
Because you got to think this is the top cornerback in college football at one time. So right. I think he has the ability to really see talent, and not only that. Him playing at TCU, he got exposed to some of those big SEC schools when they were at their peaks.
Absolutely.
So I also think he understands what type of players need to be here in the SEC.
Absolutely, and that's the one thing you and I always talk about is, and I firmly believe it, great coaches that were great players go out and recruit players that they can see themselves in, and when you look over the defensive back class that they're offering either 21, 22. You see a lot, and you go look at Sam Carter's film playing D-back at TCU. You see a lot of the knowledge of how to undercut, the knowledge of defenses, and then the physicality. And another thing that sticks out is speed and ball awareness. These are all things that I see in these kids that are being offered and showing high major interest. But, man, we got to get on the bus because the Hall guys got one more stop to make. In Marysville, Ohio, we're about to catch up with the top junior in the country outside, I should say in Ohio, an outside linebacker, major Arkansas prospect, Gabe Powers. GP's about to take the stage. It's on the hill with Pat Jenkins, and it's the Hall guys on KDSJ 479. Let's get it. Welcome back to our Friday edition of On the Hill Sports Talk Radio, and we present the Hall Guys edition as Arkansas and Coach Sam Pittman and staff are really getting out and putting a lot of emphasis on putting the brand on the University of Arkansas, and they said the 2022 class was lacking. Not anymore, as they made their way to Marysville, Ohio, where they found the top junior in all of the state of Ohio, 2022 outside linebacker and four-star prospect and major Arkansas prospect, Gabe Powers. GP, welcome to the Hill.
Nothing much.
GP, let's get offensive recruiting. I mean, you're high priority throughout the country heading into your junior season. Talk about that. And, you know, when you got that offer from Arkansas, what was that like to be able to know that you had an opportunity to be in the SEC if that's something you choose to do?
It's just a blessing. Give all the glory to God. You know, it's very humbling to see all these schools into me in Arkansas. You know, this is a big one. You know, SEC, and first big SEC offer right there.
Who are all the schools right now so early heading into your junior season? Gabe, who are the schools heading into your junior year that are really showing love? You know, I know Arkansas is offered, but what are some of the schools that you hear from real heavily so early?
West Virginia is one of them. Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, and I think that's the big ones that are after me.
What right now, when you go into your film room and you watch your sophomore year, Gabe, what is that when you write notes down you feel really good about? And then what were some of those notes that you had to make a check and say, this, I got to get better heading into my junior year on these particular things?
I think just getting bigger, faster, stronger is what I really need to do. That's the main thing in my game I need to improve.
There at Marysville, you know, people understand who Gabe Powers is. I mean, you come in the top-rated player as well as the top-rated linebacker. How much pressure is that when you walk at that such a young age heading into your junior year to have all these schools, you know, coming after you and then to be able to go out on Friday nights knowing that you have kids out there that are out to prove a point? How do you handle all that coming up?
I mean, I handle, you know, I'm not too big into the spotlight. I'm not the type of guy like that. I'm just taking it, being humble, taking it as a blessing.
Talk about Ohio football and how that helps you, Gabe, prepare for the next step. You got 2 more years of Ohio high school football, but, you know, talk about those, you know, the advantages you've had of playing in that state.
Well, just playing with Marysville, you know, it's a tough, hard-nosed football team that's, I mean, blue-collar town. So, I mean, toughness comes with it. And playing in Ohio, you know, play some of the best teams in the state.
Right.
So.
Now, who are some of the guys at the outside linebacker position, GP, that you like to watch collegiately or professionally, and maybe take parts of what they do and add to what you do come game night?
He was an outside linebacker, but who I really watched was Ray Lewis a lot.
I can see that in you, my man. I definitely can see that. Now, speaking of linebacker, where are you? Coaches saying that you're going to be preferred at the outside linebacker, inside linebacker, or will that just something to be determined once you get to college and they figure it out?
They're talking about hybrid, so walk up on the line sometimes, drop back pass coverage.
Now, I know with the spring football out the window, I don't know if you had planned on taking any unofficial visits to get out to some spring practices, but, who are some of the schools that you're going to be planning to get out to once the COVID-19 pandemic passes over and we get back to normal life, Gabe?
Any school, really. I'm trying to get as much as possible. I haven't set them all up. I haven't really thought much about it now that all this virus and stuff's going around, but I'm trying to get as many schools as I can.
Now, I'm coming to Marysville, Ohio on game night. Got my popcorn, my 20-ounce drink, and I'm going to the highest place I can go to watch number 36, Gabe Powers. What type of football player will I see for 4 quarters once that ball's kicked off?
You're gonna get tough, hard-nosed football player that's gonna give you everything he's got.
Now let's have a little fun. Want everybody to know we're talking with Gabe Powers, 2022 outside linebacker, major prospect for the University of Arkansas, and major others out of Marysville, Ohio. We're riding around town, my man. You and I. I'm the OG in the car, trying to figure out. I'm like, what's the new music? What's the first 5 songs, Gabe, on your playlist that you're gonna play for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna get you Dirt Road Anthem, Jason Aldean. I would play All Right, Darius Rucker, Body Like a Back Road, Sam Hunt. I'm gonna change to some rap too. Get you Money Longer, Lil Uzi, and Dreams of Nightmare, Meek Mill.
Well, I see you getting it in. Yeah, I'll definitely ride with you, my man. Definitely great music, and I'm gonna have to go check out some of that. But last question, GP, and I want you to complete this statement for me. When football is done with, when it's all said and done for Gabe Powers of Marysville High School in Marysville, Ohio, he'll be doing what with his life afterwards?
It's the career I really thought of, but I couldn't really answer that. I put much thought into it.
Hey, that's all right. Hey, you got a long way, a young man.
It's too early right now to think about that.
Absolutely, GP. This line is your line. Let's continue to keep in touch. Let's don't make this the last time that you're going to be a guest on the Hill. All right.
Yes, sir.
Hey, my man. Thanks for taking time out today, and you have a blessed one.
Thank you.
All right. That was 2022 outside linebacker and the state's top linebacker prospect, and I think he's the number 1 junior in the whole entire state of Ohio. Gabe Powers out of Marysville, Ohio. Demetrius, I've seen the film. What'd you see?
Again, just one of those kids that physically looks different. When you talk about being a sophomore and young kid playing on varsity, and you look at his tape, you would never think this kid was a 10th grader out there playing against kids 2 and 3 years older than him. So, like I said, I just think these coaches are doing a wonderful job identifying these kids at a young age, getting ahead in these recruiting. And the one thing I found in common is Arkansas is the first Power 5 school to a lot of these kids, and I think that's the secret, to be the first school to really give them a chance and have them thinking on an NFL level. Because once you get to talking about, I could play in the SEC, a lot of kids get that, I could probably make it to the NFL. Right. The NFL drafts a lot of kids from the SEC, so I think it's almost like a domino effect when you when you are the first ones to offer a major scholarship to these young kids.
And that just goes to show what their aggressiveness and their ability to identify big time talent in Coach Pittman and that entire staff. And and I've always felt, and I said it before Coach Pittman became the head coach, I felt like if he were given the opportunity to be the head man, he'd put together a staff of great evaluators of talent, great builders of relationships, and guys that's done it on the football field at a high level, and have a resume with players that they've developed and coached doing it at the next level. So I've always thought that. And when you have a young guy in Sam Carter that's done it, going out recruiting guys that he sees in himself, himself in them, that you can't beat that. And then, like I said, Pittman, nothing else to be said about this staff. I mean, guys like to be around similar guys, and that's what Coach Pittman did. He had a chance to hire his staff, and boy, did he ever. And we're starting to see it in the recruiting front. And really in that 2020, you said it, Demetrius, 2022 has a chance if Arkansas can get on a roll. And I'm not saying get on a roll and win 10, 12, 13 games, not this year. That's not what I'm saying. But if Arkansas can create a buzz and maybe get to a bowl game, outside chance, get that 6th win and get to that bowl game and create that buzz in year 1, I really think they will benefit in that 2022 class, and it has a chance to be real special. I mean, it's evidenced by the kids we're having on the show each and every day. It seems like there's another 21 offering, another 22 kid with offers, and it just never stops. And that's what we said. That's why we like doing the Hall Guy segment. That's going to wrap up our week. We've had a great week, but I'm telling you, man, it don't stop. We're just going to put new tires on the bus, make sure we got oil, and we'll be back on the road to give you more of those Hall Guys, because they don't stop watching, and we don't stop bringing them to you. Thanks for our guests. Want to give a shout out to 2022 4-star defensive end out of Montgomery, Alabama, Park Crossing High School. Khurtiss Perry, the big fella, came on and he let us know just, where he sits with the Razorbacks and many, many more. He's got a long way to go, but he's going to have a lot of options along that journey as well. And then we want to give a shout out to Daniel Martin, the 2022 outside linebacker out of Marietta, Georgia. He won the state championship, but he also was wanting to talk about Arkansas and Coach Jimmy Smith, and boy, did he. Well, I think we got a lot from him, too. And then we did not stop with Hall Guys. We want to give a thank you to Isaiah Brown Murray. I call him IBM of Cornelius, North Carolina, Hall High School, the big DB. Or not big, but he plays big. I mean, when you watch his film, you'll see a lot of the honey badger in it. I'm telling you. He came on and talked Sam Carter. Arkansas's got high importance on this young man. And then we closed it out by heading up to Marysville, Ohio. We talked to the state's top-rated player in the junior class and outside linebacker prospect on the national level. We talked to Gabe Powers. He told us about the Razorbacks, and he's got a long way to go as well. We want to give a thank you to all those young men in that 2022 class that have offers. Each and every one of these young men are offered Razorbacks and high priorities. And then we want to give a shout out before we get out of here to our sponsors, because without them, this ain't possible. Lindsay and Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville, an office location also too in Rogers. Locomotion, located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall in Fayetteville. Corey Beck's Custom Painting. And lastly, KDK's Chicken. It's down at 989 Razorback Road. Go see Keith and Kathy. Get a plate of that love, and like it says on the building, it's not your mama's. I just added this. It's the best chicken and waffles in the South. That's going to wrap it up for our show. To all our listeners, continue to come on board and show us love. Give us questions, because we'll try to bring it to you. If we don't know, we'll definitely try to find it out. From our producer, Demetrius Johnson, a great week. Also, too, Beats Today by Sauced Up Entertainment. I'm going to throw it over to Demetrius real quick before we get out of here, and he can tell you all of the way you can catch those beats, and you can catch On the Hill. Here's our platforms.
So you can catch On the Hill on YouTube at On the Hill Sports Talk LLC, and you can catch On the Hill and other production and beats music videos on Sauced Up Entertainment YouTube page, and you can find On the Hill also on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, any major streaming platform. You can find On the Hill Sports Talk. Just search On the Hill Sports Talk, and we will pop up.
Well, that's going to do it for myself, for Demetrius, and for On the Hill Sports Talk. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll be back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Let's get it.